So this is the banner on for this weekend. These are the champions on offer. Let's go and have a look at them, see how long the banner's on for, see what odds we're getting, and see if the champions are any good. I'll see you in a minute. Hello and welcome, I'm Misstical, this is Misstical Gaming, we're back into Watcher of Realms. Now this Friday is the start of many things, but it's also the start of the weekend banner. Now what have we got on this weekend? Our special summoning, during the event, designated hero will enjoy a 15 times drop rate. Okay, first and foremost, let's go and have a quick look at something. Now until I'm told otherwise, I believe this is the case. The drop rates themselves remain exactly the same. It is only when you pull something within that drop rate that the chances then become boosted. So your chances of getting a legendary are just under 0.5%. Instead of having all this pool to choose from, you still got it, but there are two champions within there that have got that are 15 times more likely than the others to be in there. So there are like instead of having one Khamet, there are 15 Khamets in there. That's how I envisage it until I'm told otherwise. That is firmly what I believe it to be. Right, so let's go and have a look. So that's what the 15 times drop rate means. So Runor, marksman, piercing damage, and I haven't seen him used anywhere, to be honest. There isn't a lot about him. Maybe we should build one out and take him for a spin, see if he is any good. Single target, increases damage, attack speed, gains an extended range, an additional 30% attack, and the ability to wreak AoE damage, lasts for 25 seconds. He's got a hell of a range though, hasn't he? He has got a good range. It was 140% damage every 12 seconds, deals 3% more damage for every one tile further. So what's he got? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's another 12% damage straight on there as well. He looks alright, but I just don't see him played anywhere. I don't see a lot of people picking him out. So I'm not going to get this right. Please correct me. Janquar? Is that right? It's probably not right. Now, I've built one of these out. I haven't had a full play with him yet. My theory was, as a fighter, he can block two people. He attacks up to 2 enemies in range, deals 100% damage. Yeah, that's no great shakes. When activated, extends attack range and allows attack to target one more enemy. The thing I was looking at, and maybe other people are getting the same thing as this, when blocking enemies, applies curse to them. Cursed units run over will perform basic attacks. So I actually tried putting him in Gear Raid 4 or the Gear Dungeon. I was hoping that this would stop the units attacking and then that lifesteal wouldn't work off on them. But it didn't seem to work like that, or I couldn't get it to work. I might have to have another play with him when it comes around again next week. But that's what I looked into it for. I thought it might be good for that, but it just didn't seem to be doing the job I was hoping it was doing. They were healing up. I was hoping this was going to work as a bit more of a anti-heal sort of mechanic, really, but it didn't really work like that. But maybe I'll have another play with him. Straightforward, bog standard, nothing brilliant, but nothing abysmal either. Esme, now here is something brilliant. Marksman, piercer, does poison, does AoE, and she does have a place in the game, and you do see her being pulled out, and you do see her being picked as well. So basic attack has a 50% chance to bounce to one extra target, has a 30% chance to inflict poison on the target, and there deals continuous true damage equal to 1% of the target's max HP per second, stacking up to 3 times. That's what poison does. Now, basic attack just attacks one enemy. It does the 100% damage. I'm not too worried about that. Ultimate, when activated, increases damage by 45%. Each basic attack lands 2 consecutive strikes instead. The second strike will attack a random enemy in range. And then there's her passive. When a hero's basic attack kills targets inflicted with poison, deals 60% AoE damage or up to 5 targets. Now you can use her in Gear Raid 3 on the left hand side as an AoE. You can take the place of Nyx or Razak. Personally, I'm a bit of a Razak lover. I do love him on that left hand side. His ultimate just comes around so quickly. It's absolutely brilliant. But I think she's perfectly workable on the left hand side, and she's also perfectly workable in Immortal Codex, and it's the Arbiter of Frost boss, isn't it? The one where you have to deal up that poison. Here she is being used in Triple S teams. Edith, defender, and she's got a surprisingly long range for a defender. Now, a talent, all damage dealt scales off defense. I think they're trying to do this to more defenders to make you put defense on defenders instead of HP. When deployed, immediately gains 2 stacks of equine aggres. Each stack of equine aggres owned increases damage dealt and healing received by 10%. The hero can have up to 5 stacks. So you can have 5 stacks of this equine aggres, and that would give you 50% more damage dealt and 50% more healing received. So that's nice. However, when taking damage, consumes 1 stack to reduce the damage by 30%. So you'll get hit, the damage will reduce by 30%, and that will take one of your up to 5 stacks off. How quickly you can get these stacks on remains to be seen. It was 100% damage to 1 enemy as a basic attack. Her ultimate is quite interesting. When the skill is activated, each attack deals 150% AoE damage, up to 8 enemies in range, lasts for 15 seconds. The first 2 basic attacks during each ultimate will knock the enemies with 2 times strength. So I presume the 2 times strength is 2 tiles back. If you have a look, it's only 700. She starts at 400. The rage regen here has got to be fairly quick to come round. I'm sort of very curious to see how she would fit in Gear Raid 4 when you've got the enemies coming towards you. Can she knock them back to give you more time to kill them without them managing, because they have to hit you to actually get their heal off. So I think she'd be really good there. I think she'd be really solid. The interesting little mechanic she's got. I at the moment use Maul, and I use Maul quite often for that knockback on his ultimate. This looks like it would come around much quicker and be much easier to use. So distinct possibility over there. Right, moving on. She's got a shield recharge, which is done on auto. Gains 1 stack of equine aggres every 40 seconds. Whenever the hero knocks back an enemy, the skill's cooldown is reduced by 1 second. You can reduce it by another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can reduce it by another 10 seconds on books, so that will take it down to 30 seconds. When the hero knocks back an enemy, how many enemies can she knock back? The enemies. Okay. She can attack up to 8 enemies. Maybe that's 8 seconds per knockback, so you could get another 16 seconds off that, so it'd be at 14 seconds before you get another stack. So maybe functionally good there. And then she's got a passive. If the hero takes no damage, it increases defense by 3%, physical damage reduction by 3% every 6 seconds, up to 15% defense and 15% physical damage reduction. The effect disappears upon taking damage, so no use in Gear Raid 2 because you've got that sandstorm coming round and you're constantly taking damage, so that wouldn't help at all. Again, Gear Dungeon, you probably wouldn't need it because you don't want her to get hit. You're relying on that knockback. So other places in the game, yeah, very possibly Void Rift, she might be usable there, or will be usable there, but not taking damage for generally taking damage if you've got a defender down, aren't you? But anyway, yeah, she does look good. I haven't seen her in game yet. I presume there aren't any reviews, none available. Yeah. And here we are, Khamet. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic legend. If you get him, you are having a good day. Absolutely brilliant. So he's used in Gear Raid 1 to clear off the mass mobs as an AoE hitter. Easily usable in Gear Raid 1. He's therefore easily usable in Arena with AoE damage, but he's also used in Gear Raid 2 as your single target nuker. He can nuke down the adds that are coming down in Gear Raid 2. So whether you use a single target person to get them down one at a time, or whether you use a complete legend like him and knock them all back in a one-er, entirely up to you. So he is absolutely fantastic. So talent. Obliteration Strike deals 400% extra damage, deals 4% extra high damage to enemies who have not been attacked. And then his basic attack deals 100% magic damage to 2 enemies. Be go careful, that is 2 enemies, that doesn't read AoE, so I don't think if you put an AoE set on him, an AoE set would work on his basic attack because it doesn't say AoE. Here we go, it would work on his ultimate because it says AoE damage. Each attack deals 320% AoE damage. Lasts for 15 seconds. Cost down, duration up, and the damage up as well when you put books or when you put skill crystals into him. Every 7 attacks applies curse on the enemy target. The cursed enemy target with curse can trigger Obliteration Strike again. So you can trigger this by putting curse on them. Doesn't say it has to come from him actually. Cursed units are only perform basic attacks. Upon killing the target, the hero's attack will bounce off 2 enemies, dealing 170% magic damage. But this is the interesting one here. Every 7 attacks applies curse to the enemy target. Yeah, terrific. The next attack to an enemy target with curse there can trigger the Obliteration Strike again. The Obliteration Strike deals 400% extra high damage to enemies. So if you have him, can you use him in conjunction here? Because it didn't mention it had to be his curse. For each adjacent enemy inflicted with curse, the hero's attack is increased. So yeah, I'd like to, if you got Khamet and you had one of those, it'd be a nice test to see if the mummy can feed Khamet. That would be quite a nice little play around and test to see how that works. So the question is, should you summon? Well, you've got different summoning options, haven't you? So you've got the 15 times. Remember, the drop rate for legendaries and for the epics is the same. It's just if you're in that pool of them, the chances of getting them are 15 times greater. Then you've got your drop rate for legendary heroes in the crazy Invocation of Spirits. Normal one for the weekend is up to 2 times. And then the divine is up to 2 times as well. Then you've got your ancient one there. Cease chance to summon Lord Heroes if you've got any left. If you want to summon, have a look at your pity timer. Pity timer, after 200 summons of getting nothing, it goes up by 5% on each summon. So on your 220th summon, you are guaranteed a legendary. You can even have a look at your summoning record. So I stopped after I got the 1+1 last time. I am 220 summons left to go. I am 0 into Mercy. Does that mean that I would therefore then summon on the 2 times, because I'm more likely to get legendaries, than I would here? I don't know. I would really like a Khamet. However, there's no guarantee, even if you get a legendary, you're going to get one. The only guarantee is you're half as likely to get a legendary as you are here. If you are new and early game, absolutely go for the 2 times, because you can get a lot of here. You can get twice as many legendaries, which are probably going to help your account than not. I am going to summon. Where I'm going to summon, I don't know yet. I haven't really decided. But I do want Vuzo. Absolutely, really do want her. She looks amazing. I don't think she's going to be as good as Morrigan, but I do think she's brilliant. Just looks fantastic. Can't wait to build her out in user. So I'm going for her, which means I don't have to summon, but the Spiritual Altar event is on. That's going to be the more expensive one of the 2 to get the shards. Now I think there's 10 available for the Spiritual Altar. Spiritual Altar 10, so there will be a 5 shards early on probably and 5 later on. I'm going to go for the full 10 on this. Which banner I'm going to choose to summon from, I don't know. I will summon something because I do want the 10. Once I've got the 10, I shall probably stop there. That would be my stopping point. Because I think at the moment I'm just going to slowly build up my Mercy. The other thing I'd like to, I don't know how often they do it, I'd like to make sure I've got 250 summons just lying around in case they give another limited banner again. They did Lust, and then relatively shortly after was the Captain Reeve. Now I didn't have enough of Captain Reeve at all, but I would like to make sure next time I do have enough going forward. So I might try and be a bit stingy on my summons, so I've got enough going forward in case I do another limited banner. But that's the information. For me, it is summon on something until I get enough spiritual altar points to get the 10. And then when I've got the 10 shards, Rabuzo, that is when I will, I'll stop. Up to you and your account. You know your account. You know how often you get shard crystals to summon with, and you know how many you can afford to do. So that is all on you. But hopefully you've got enough information there to make a sensible decision on what you want to do and what your plan is for the weekend. Right, that's me done for today now. I'll see you in a video again tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time and happy gaming.